Awesome. I think we are live. I just want to go to YouTube to make sure. Oh look, I messed up my welcoming screen. Forgive me, everybody. I've been out of the loop. Been kind of sick, so I'm just playing catch up. We should be good here. Let me know if you're having any trouble hearing me or seeing me. I think we should be good though. Okay, awesome. Looks like we're live. Do me a favor really fast. If you are watching, please share this on your Twitter, Facebook, wherever it is you may share. If this is your first time watching, subscribe. I know that this is not usually, this is a subject that I definitely cover, I would say, a lot. But the person involved in it, I don't, a lot of political people may not know him, but it's definitely a subject that we need to cover because it covers, it involves a very political topic involving international relations, international politics, and just overall lack of compassion and sensitivity towards other people's cultures. And so I think that is a very, very important topic to discuss. And how it was dealt with is probably even more important to talk about, because the way this guy has gone about dealing with this just is not good. So I just don't. So like I said, if you all don't mind posting this to Twitter, for all my tweeters out there, Facebook, if you have any, make sure you tag Logan Paul into this, because I actually want to have him come on to my show and see if he wants to explain his side of the story. And I'm going to actually reach out to his management if he has somebody, and if you know anybody that I can get in touch with if you're a Logan Paul fan, just because I really want to hear his side of the story and have him explain himself regarding this matter, because this is kind of ridiculous. He needs a publicist. He needs some type of PR guy, because he didn't do a very good job of handling the situation. So, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Niko House, and you are watching Mikasa Sukasa, and I am your host. Today, I wanted to discuss the matter of Logan Paul, the very popular YouTube sensation, who initially got famous on Vine. And I will admit that even myself, back in the day when I used to be a big Vine head, I used to love watching his little witty 7-minute clips of him doing just funny and crazy stuff. Didn't really involve him talking a lot. Now I know why. But I used to enjoy his stuff, and even in passing, I do enjoy a couple of his YouTube videos. I'm not a very big fan of his, but I was a casual observer, if you will. He's very slapstick, what's known as slapstick comedy. Just does a lot of things to get like a knee-jerk ha-ha out of it. Just a lot of things that I would never do, but hey, if you find your niche, go for it. But it's a huge problem. It was not necessarily, I won't say it wasn't a problem before, but it was not necessarily as big of a problem before as it is in regards to what he is doing, what he did in Japan. And apparently he had another video in Italy where he did the exact same thing. So yeah, man, like I was saying, so Logan Paul, this YouTube sensation with over 5 million subscribers or something crazy like that. And for those of you who don't know, 5 million subscribers is disgusting. Like, that's a lot of subscribers. I've seen only a few people, maybe 4 or 5 people with more than that. And Logan Paul got his followers and his subscribers rather quickly, believe it or not, compared to some other YouTubers who have been doing this for a little more time. This man goes to Japan and just makes an absolute ass of himself. the more serious thing that has been talked about is the fact that he went into I'm not going to try to pronounce the name because I would butcher it, but essentially it's what's known as a suicide forest. And he actually recorded a man who had just killed himself, who was hanging from a tree. And he laughed about it, and he claims it was a coping mechanism. Whatever, cool. But he laughed about it. And he said, he pretended somewhat to kind of be sad about it. And then he went home and posted that particular video on YouTube. Eventually, he took it down about 24 hours later. But he posted it on YouTube. A man who killed himself. And his fan base is actually younger. About, I would say, 7 to 17, 18. Maybe 25. But mostly younger people who like slapstick, knee-jerk comedy. And wow. I don't know what reaction he was expecting to get, which is even a little bit more troubling. Because I could never in my right mind, fathom posting a dead man on my YouTube page, let alone a dead man who committed suicide. Let alone a dead man who committed suicide in a forest that is actually considered sacred. Where that's why, unfortunately, granted, I'm not a big proponent of suicide, but like in Japan, suicide has a lot of cultural links, regardless of how we feel about it in the States. And he went there to find whatever sanctity he needed to commit suicide. And this guy, Logan Paul, just video recorded it, kind of like made light of the situation and posted it on YouTube. And for those of you who have not seen it, I would encourage you to look on it. I'm not posting it on my YouTube page because, it violates almost every single community standard. I haven't posted. I'm not going to post it. I'm not even posting anything in here, simply because I don't want to have my YouTube page taken down. That's how bad it is. I'm not exaggerating. And for a long, long time, people thought that for the last 4 or 5 days, people was like, this is the worst thing that anyone, and this is the worst thing that he has done. And if he's remorseful for this, we should move on and we should forgive him for this particular incident. He's a young guy. Maybe it was a judgment call type of issue, right? Young guys make mistakes. And so I wanted to give him a chance before I just went and tore a new one into him, because that was my initial reaction. But I wanted to take a step back and see how he handled it. This is his apology. And by the way, excuse my voice, everybody. I just got over a ridiculous. I was so sick. I had pneumonia, I think. My chest was like in excruciating pain. For those of you who've never listened to me before, I normally don't sound quite like this. But I'm getting over a cold. I just kind of got tired. I was getting antsy. I hate not posting videos for long periods of time, and it's been like 2 days. So bear with me, people. But this is his apology. Where do I begin? Let's start with saying this. I'm sorry. This is a first for me. Just by the statement, this is a first for me, it's not going to end well. We can figure that out from there. It's not going to end well. But let's continue. Let's just see what happens. I've never faced criticism like this before. Oh, God. This is really, really, really not going to end well. But hey, let's continue. Because I've never made a mistake like this before. Holy crap. When I read that third line, I knew I was in for a doozy. Because when you're in politics and you have to deal with public relations a lot, and you hear so many tailored speeches to counteract the negative backlash from something like this, you can tell a couple of sentences into a speech when something is about to go south. And this is clearly about to go south. I'm surrounded by good people and believe that I make good decisions, but I'm still a human being and I can be wrong. I didn't do it for views. Ladies and gentlemen, the YouTuber who literally does slapstick comedy and knee-jerk reaction comedy for views said that he did not post a man in Japan for views, even though he is literally only in Japan for views. That was the only reason he was there doing what he was doing. He's a YouTuber. He posted it for views. But I digress. I did it because I thought I could make a positive ripple on the internet, not cause a monsoon of negativity. Okay? That's never the intention. I intended to raise awareness for suicide and suicide prevention, and why I thought that if this video saves just one life, it'll be worth it. I was misguided by shock and awe as portrayed in the video. Like I said, if you saw the video, I'm not posting it, but if you saw the video, if you've seen it, you know damn well that is a bold face lie. And the fact that he would try and pretend as if he shot that video and posted it for suicide prevention absolutely undermines the reality of suicide in general, and the efforts that people who legitimately are working towards suicide prevention actually put in. But also it undermines the very realities of suicide as it is attached to the Japanese culture, and why that man was left hanging there like that in that particular scenario. And it's disgusting. It's sickening. But it shows you that the guy very well may be a sociopath. But he goes further, and he says that I do this shit every day. I've made a 15-minute show every single day for the past 460 plus days. One may understand that it's easy to get caught up in the moment without fully weighing the possible ramifications. I'm often reminded of how big of a reach I truly have. This dude just took a moment where he could have been humble and said, you know what? I messed up. There's absolutely no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. He took that moment and just said, if he would have took that moment and said, hey, I messed up, and that was the end of the story, I think that many people, including YouTubers like myself and others who have spoken out against this, we probably would have been like, hey, man, you know what? People make mistakes. A lot of other things that I'm going to get into that, but we would have taken a step back and said, hey, people make mistakes. But that's not what happened. Actually, what happened was the total opposite of that. He just took this moment to try and get more subscribers. And he actually succeeded in doing so. Believe it or not. He got like 100,000 or so subscribers that day. But hey, he didn't fully weigh the ramifications, and he's sorry for that, guys. For the first time in his life, he is regretful to say that he handled that power of his outreach incorrectly. That's the first time that's ever happened. It will never happen again. I love everyone. I believe in people. I'm out of here. Peace. Do you all hear how problematic that apology was? Am I crazy? Am I being too harsh? Am I expecting too much? Because, yeah, I admit, being a speechwriter, being someone who worked in politics, and it has, been used to coaching people in the public eye about how to deal with situations like this, maybe I am being too harsh. And if I am being too harsh, please let me know. But personally, I don't feel like I am being too harsh. I don't feel as if I am being a dickhead. I feel like I have reasonable expectations for someone who has such a huge following and is a grown man and is claiming to have some sort of heart. Now, here's why I don't believe his apology. I mean, other than the obvious that you already heard, I want to show you why I don't believe his apology. I'm going to show you the rest of the videos, okay? I'm going to show you the rest of the videos because it is you'll see why I'm actually even more upset that he tried to feed us bullshit.
It's every day, bro. It's a big Tesla.
I'm not gonna show you all of it. I just want to show you some of the actions.
Come on. 2018. What are you doing, boss? I don't know, bro. I feel like a kid again, yo. These are all in Japanese? Oh, perfect. How much? 9,500? Yes. I'll give you 9.
Why is he talking like that towards him? He's being purposely demeaning for shock value.
It's like it's totally broken. My childhood. It's not funny. Stop laughing at me. Ah! Why? You could have returned it. Huh? Oh. Excuse me, sir. The game seems to be malfunctioning. Mucho broken.
Okay, did you just hear this? This man goes up to this Japanese person whose English is obviously not perfect, but it's good enough to understand that it's broken. Obviously, he just tried to throw it on the ground, but this man just walks up to a Japanese person and says, "Much broken though." What the hell? What the hell? But let's continue.
Pocket Game Boy, another model. It's a pocket model? What does that even mean? That's not... I have a different idea how to fulfill my Pokemon needs. Oh! Pokemon onesies! My man Brendan was a little excited. He's already beat wanted to be Charizard! Oh my god. Bro, this is hilarious. You need to bring this Pokemon. Before we get started, I want to say one thing. Yasushi has a little secret. Yo, I know you don't, bro. Let's be dumb. What is that? What do you have and why? Gotta catch him? What kind of Pokemon is that? Gotta catch him all. Yo, he's dope. This makes me miss Maverick, bro. I miss all my pets. Really amazing.
Like, he just... So, for those of you who don't know, Japanese in the culture, they're very much so about respecting other people's personal space to the extent that they believe it's actually rude to even have a conversation on the subway or on the train. This man just walks up to people and starts touching their personal things, their belongings, dressed in a Pikachu costume, clearly mocking the idea, of course, that Pikachu comes from Japan, or excuse me, that Pokemon comes from Japan, and assuming that everybody's gonna... Now, I think it would be damn near a safe assumption, just giving how popular Pokemon is, but assuming that everyone is going to jump on to the reference, oh yeah, I'm an American vlogger, be in awe of the fact that you're even on my YouTube channel, and just let me throw things at your bird, at your owl, you know? But just look.
Alright, we're gonna go be Pokemon. Look at Andy's Snorlax? No, you go. We gotta be active for the vlog. I know Snorlax sleeps. Andy, no, Andy! Andy, what are you doing? You're in the middle of the street, bro. Well, sorry, he's Snorlax. Wake up, Andy. Andy, wake up. We got trouble with cars and merch to sell. Toyota, I choose you. No.
You just threw something at someone's car, people. And this is, I'm not going to show everything, but this is like just a, so this is pretty bad. And this wasn't even the worst that he did. And this is like just in Japan. He had another video that was in Italy that was similarly problematic. But I don't know if it's an American thing. I don't know if it's a white male thing. I don't know. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's an elitist thing. It's a white male thing. It's an American thing. It's a, like, we pretend like, you know, we're the big dogs on campus. and everyone should, and it's a fame thing as well, but you pretend like you're the big dog on campus when you go to somewhere like Japan, and it's a cultural thing where we think because we're loud and boisterous and people put up with us that they actually feel like putting up with us. Logan Paul really needs to know what he did in totality was highly, highly problematic. And I truly hope he understands this going forward. I really, really do. Because this is unacceptable. You could have danced around the streets and threw things at inanimate objects. Excuse me. You could have threw things at inanimate objects. You could have... I know it takes the shock value out to talk to people before you invade their personal space. But the thing is, he has no... You have to... When you're recording, if you're a professional, like whenever Steven Spielberg or anybody else goes out to produce a movie or direct a movie and you're in an entirely different country, they go out of their way to respect the culture, to make certain requests, and to try not to violate certain aspects of their culture so that you don't run into issues like what we just saw. Okay? Because what it looks like is you can do what the hell you want to for money and you think you're going to get away with it. And it totally demeans an entire culture and it's taking advantage. And it's coming from, this is from a Japanese YouTuber, and he said it best. He said he's taking advantage of the non-confrontational nature of the Japanese culture. Because I dare him to go to, for example, New York. Go to New York. Go to Brooklyn. Because there's some nice parts of Brooklyn. You can do that now. Go to New York. Go to Brooklyn. Throw that and knock off someone's Yankees hat. Throw that at some guy. Throw that at somebody who's getting off of work in the middle of rush hour. And throw that at their car and see how they react to it. These are the same people in Brooklyn who get mad if you didn't start driving before the red light turned green. These are the people that still honk at you while the light's still red because they're in that big of a rush. But he knows that culturally, he cannot get away with doing that. So that's why, but in Japan, because they're non-confrontational, he's fine with it. So that's, like I said, I'm going to reach out to the guy and see if he wants to come on to the show. And I hope that he will. And because we got to deal with this. That's not acceptable from anybody, not just him. But there are definitely some social issues that need to be discussed regarding this. Like I said, do I believe there's this like kind of like white male complex thing in there? Absolutely. I really, truly do. Now, I think the biggest issue, though, is the American theme, kind of the American cultural theme that we kind of like, what's called little broing somebody or sunning someone, where you see someone as lesser because they're from a country that is not thought of as being bombastic or loud. Like, because he wouldn't, like, for another example, he wouldn't go to, I believe, like Germany and do something like this. I definitely don't think he would do that. Places, or Russia, and do something like, because those are people he may feel that are stereotypically bigger than him, like personality and characteristic wise, people who would not put up with his shit, if you will. And I think when we see people as little smaller than us, because Japanese people are obviously shorter than the average American, this is a fact, we feel like we can take advantage of that, and it should not be the case. Because if he does, imagine if he treats those people like this on camera, because I could not even fathom treating people this badly, than disrespecting people this much. I would go to people and like boost them up, like to the point where they may be uncomfortable because I'm praising them so much for some insane reason. But I can never just blatantly disrespect people or blatantly disrespect someone's culture. And so if he's treating people like this on camera, this is just what he posted, by the way. We have no idea what he did behind the scenes, and we have no idea what he does when that camera lens is off. And so I'm interested to know what you all think about that. Please like and share and comment below. Let me know what you think about this, and subscribe if you have not. and make sure you turn on the notification bell for more updates. I will be back shortly. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to talk about the Hillary Clinton federal investigation if you are interested, and I'm sure you are. If I do not see you in the next 5 minutes, always remember, people, find your balance. Peace.